the world desperately needs millions and millions and millions of change makers. The problems of our time are so big and so urgent and so complex. The one thing I know for certain is we need, a battalion of amazing young leaders. And that's what I'm really excited to do. And it's really helping thousands of young people find their voice, find their agency, find their leadership style, and to be able to go out and have the capacity to do really important things in the world. At UNH, we define sustainability as ecological integrity in all places and dignity and well-being for all people. And that's really rooted today in the United Nations and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. They cover things like the climate crisis, the health of our oceans, the health of our ecosystems, but it also includes things like poverty and hunger, good education, good healthcare. The way to think about it is as a blueprint for humanity about how we can have a sustainable future. In the corporate world, there's really a push always for progress. And I think we need that in higher education, and we need to innovate. We need to innovate new ways of educating, new ways of being institutions of higher education. Sustainability is inherently, multidisciplinary, cross-discipline, right, cross-sector. And our academic institutions are sort of built in silos. We have schools of engineering and schools of business and schools of liberal arts, where what we really need is, people of those disciplines and backgrounds coming together to solve really complicated sustainability challenges. The Changemaker Collaborative at UNH, at the Sustainability Institute, is really the place and the platform that we created to engage students and to really support them, encourage them to become sustainability leaders of the future. And so we are deliberately creating a range of programs that can complement a more traditional education. And they're really about getting students out of the classroom and get them working, as I said, on real world problems with real organizations and experiencing the real world struggles of sustainability. The scholarships are specifically for students in the College of Life Sciences and Agriculture. And I think that obviously is a place where sustainability is incredibly important. The way we farm, changing the methods of agriculture, they can actually contribute to solutions to the climate crisis. I think the question we need to be asking right now is, not do men and women lead differently or better, but what are the kind of leadership skills the world needs today? Perhaps things like empathy and love and compassion and sort of treating stakeholders well. Perhaps they are more feminine qualities or traits of leadership. But what excites me is, I see men and women and people who identify as non-binary equally bringing those traits today. And I think that's fantastic, because that is what the world needs, right? We need models of leadership that are about empathy and compassion and love. I think we just have this outdated notion that somehow we have to make this choice between doing well and doing good, and we don't. It's really about, do we have the will and the mindset to do the things we need to do? So if you can't tell, I didn't grow up in America. I grew up in England, about an hour west of London, by the ocean. I had a stay-at-home mum, and she was an amazing gardener. My dad was a sailor from when he was born, and I was a sailor from pretty much when I was born. I think I was taken on their boat when I was about 2 months old. So the ocean is very much in my blood, and we're lucky enough to go with my parents, all over the southern part of England and coast of France and the Netherlands, and just was lucky enough to be in very beautiful natural places. I think a lot about how do we get more people wanting, with a driving passion to create a sustainable future. And I think some of that is about people's connection to nature. You were asking earlier about, the value of somewhere like Alnoba. It's been well written about this idea of nature deficit disorder, right? That we have a generation of kids that, have never had the chance and the opportunity to be in nature. You can't, if you don't love it and you haven't experienced it, we can't really expect people to want to protect it. Part of our education system can't just be the science. It has to be the sort of the hands-on experience of being out in the natural world, seeing its beauty, seeing its complexity, seeing its brilliance, I think there's lots of beautiful places in the world, and there's lots of programs that focus on leadership development. I don't think there's anywhere quite like Alnoba that brings those two things together. There's something really special about being surrounded by such natural beauty and also the amazing art and architecture and sculpture here at Alnoba. Alnoba is a really important place, very much like UNH, that is a real model, a model of sustainability. Right? It's not just window dressing. The idea of sustainability is deeply woven into the fabric, not just of the building, but of the grounds. One of the things that has been really special for me being here has been the focus that Harriet and Alan have had on incorporating Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous wisdom and Indigenous art. This is a place that helps people reconnect with the deep history and the Indigenous wisdom. And being able to see that and be surrounded by that, be immersed in that, at the same time that you're asking questions about your own leadership. There's some magic combination, I think, that happens when you do leadership development in a place like this. So this is the last memento that I brought in. It's a beautiful handcrafted wooden box in the shape of a heart. The reason this is so special is that, first of all, it was given to me by my husband. So partly it's about the role that our family, our loved ones play in our journey as leaders. It's also reminds me about the importance of love, bringing love into workplaces. I also love this box when my husband gave it to me for our 25th wedding anniversary. It really, to me, spoke to sustainability. First of all, it's carved from a single piece of native wood, but it's also about this very intricate design where there are these interlocking pieces that make up the whole. And to me, that really speaks to kind of this complex system that we all live in, right? This is about our planet and our world. And it reminds me that the health of our planet is inextricably linked with the health of human beings and all kinds of other things. So I sort of love this as a metaphor for sustainability.